A lovely setting at Supersport Park, and it has been all entertainment from Shimron Hatmeyer. This was the talent that many saw in 2016, that Under-19 World Cup, when he first burst on the scene. He's been in and out of the West Indies side, but fans back at home will be hoping he's finally turned the page and can become a long stay, a permanent fixture in this team going into a World Cup. Huge. What a knock. Striking at over 200. The West Indies, because of him and Brandon King, have scored 47 after the power play, so maintaining the tempo. Three sixes behind square leg side. They've targeted him with the short ball. He's hit it to the boundary each time. So Sean Pollock, Nat Germanos alongside. South Africa have got work to do.
Yeah, they have indeed. You say they've targeted him with the short ball, but he's actually latched on to the length deliveries. Kind of just helped those on his way. There hasn't been any genuine bounces that they've gone after. They've had a chat in the huddle. Let's see what South Africa come up with now.
Carnage continues. Don't know if he got this out the exact middle, but he'll take the result, Brandon King.
I had a look at the three fielders in the inner ring, and they kind of all looked at themselves as if to say, what did we discuss in the team meeting? Because I'm sure the Niha full toss probably wasn't one of the options. I say Niha, I'm being generous. The top of the stumps full toss. I know Eric Simons had a theory about that at some stage, but he wasn't part of that discussion at the drinks break. So that's a bit of a surprise, and King doesn't miss out.
Have to reball that, and with the field set, Polly and Nat, deep point, deep third, fine leg, deep backward square, and mid wicket. You would think Mapaka can't really afford to be full.
Yeah, if he goes full and straight, he's going to be in trouble, obviously. A little bit wide, possibly with a bit of protection on the offside. Get the pace right. Moment hasn't gone right yet.
Yeah, that's nicely bowled. That's the kind of bounce you want to bowl if you're going to bang it in short. This field was one of South Africa very successful with it, the T20 World Cup in the States and in the West Indies. But the reason, because the nature of the surfaces were a bit dodgy, so they could whack it in and it kind of came off a little bit too paced, and one would bounce, one would stay low. But if you are going to have this field, the full toss is definitely not the delivery. That's why I was surprised by that first one. You would think he'd be banging in with pace and then also taking the pace off on some short deliveries as well, try and get them to play square.
Now the West Indies are in the exact position they want to be in the middle overs of T20 games. Platform set, two guys in, and now if a wicket falls, if it's the right-hander, you've got the option of Robin Powell, and the left-hander, Sherfane Rutherford.
Also, sometimes in these T20 matches, particularly in franchise stuff, you don't have a lot of people who've been captains. South Africa have got a lot. Quinton de Kock, Kesha Moiraj, Tristan Stubbs, they've all been at the helm. That's why you think in those drinks break, there would have been some good ideas bouncing around as to how they can try and pull this back. So it was only gone for 6, so if he can get out of here, maybe another single or so. That'll be a good turnaround for South Africa. But nothing's kind of worked. Paison's gone the distance, and when they've gone to the spinners, it's been difficult for them as well.
Tried to get inside of it, held it. You both were at that T20 World Cup you mentioned, Polly, and I remember they had a Tabraiz Shamsi in there who at this stage sometimes could come in and offer something different. That will be a problem for South Africa to solve when it's not going their way and Nortje is going for runs. Who is the wicket taker in the middle?
Yeah, the other thing to remember is this ground is not really suited to the spinners. You tend to find that when they bowl, particularly in the middle, they kind of disappear. He's just watching the replay of the magical moment where he won himself something.
Wide ball.
Conditions going to be very different. Something I read about as well. Those first 3 games, that ground, it's generally a good surface, but also you're going to be up against Afghanistan, who play spin well generally. So it's one of the big games for South Africa within that group.
Big boundaries as well, particularly square of the wicket. So South Africa's plans will often be trying to create a scenario where the batters hit it square.
Decent comeback from Mapaka after going for a boundary first up. But again, good running and efficiency from the West Indies. Still get 11 from the over, 1-2-6 for 1. Huge day coming up this Saturday. A lovely initiative, unique to South Africa. Pink Day in Johannesburg, just up the road at the Wonders. Cannot wait to see those pink jerseys. Yeah, he's got one. I think it's the best jersey in cricket, to be honest.
Yeah, the umpires are already donning the pink in the middle. I don't know if they're going to change. Maybe they're going to do a lighter shade of pink as their contribution.
So now Aidan Markram's leadership will be tested, and maybe has to go back to a Rabada earlier than he would have wanted in the 12th over, trying to prize out a wicket and break this partnership.
Yeah, what is the thinking in this time? It's basically to try and get them to hit to the boundary riders that are on a particular side of the field. So they've got 3 men situated back on the leg side and 2 very square on the offside. So yeah, he wants King to try and take him on. Probably square of the wicket on the leg side and see if they can get a catch.
And it's the reason the West Indies probably like to have that left-right combination, because there's a 7-meter difference in boundary today, folks. So with Hetmeyer now on strike, he can take on the shorter leg side boundary.
And he does love it leg side, doesn't he? It's one of his favourite shots. We've already seen it in this innings. He's very strong going leg side, so they've got to be aware of that. It's just questions now being asked by the fielder who is on that leg side boundary now as to where we're setting this leg side field. The waving of hands by Brevis.
Fine leg is in. So trying to make Hetmeyer hit offside, which is the longer boundary. That was very wide.
Trying to go across it. He's been effective, hasn't he, Hetmeyer? And he's hit a lot of boundaries. Let's just try and have a look at where he scored most of those boundaries from. There's the strike rate. The strike rate's come off a good length. And just the shorter deliveries, those are the one he's been severe on.
Wide. Now, remember last time the West Indies came in 2023, they played 2 games here, they won that series. Robin Powell still remembers it. He told us earlier today it's a special memory for him, first series win as captain. How much confidence will each of these teams, if they can win this series, take into the World Cup? Does it really make a difference?
The actual series is so different to tournament play. You've got to take the right things from it. The reason I say that is because tournament play is different, and obviously you're playing a different opposition all the time, but also net run rate comes into it, whereas in a bilateral series you don't have to worry about net run rate. You ask many teams about net run rates and how much of a difference it can make later on in the competition. Miss out easily. South Africa has missed out before. Play is very different. The pressure also that comes from those must-win games, it's just different. So there are things that you can take from it. I think it'd be individual skills, individual form you could probably take from it.
Ajahn, what's your take?
I suppose also the fact that they play West Indies, if they do go through, is something they can take with them. So ideas and plans against them. I think just the ability to work out what the roles are. It doesn't really matter what the conditions are. You just need to know how you're going to fit in. It's a good comeback from Rabada. To get A lot of miscontact from the batters. I think the interesting thing for me is going to be what the final combination will be. I would presume they go with the two spinners of Maharaja and Linda, and then use Markram as an extra spin option. But who do they go for from the quicks? Rabada and Janssen would seem dead certs. It's going to be another wide. And I think Norkia could be quite suited to the conditions in India and his experience in the RPL. And then the batting lineup, who do you go to task with? Very surprised if Smith walked in at number 5 like he's scheduled to come in tonight, because he's got limited experience in the subcontinent.
Good execution this over from Rabada. And take your mind back to the first T20 when the West Indies were going well with Powell and Hetmeyer. It was Corbin Bosch, who's another name in consideration, and Mapaka. Strung together a few tight overs, resulted in the West Indies losing wickets in clusters. That will be the plan for Markram. Who does he go to next? Yeah, there's Bosch.